When markets move, Stephen E. Orr takes the chair. From the White House to Wall Street, he's spent decades at the intersection of policy, markets, and real capital. And he's seen firsthand how institutions use data behind closed doors. Now, as founder of Quasar Markets, his mission is to pull those signals into the open so everyone can see what really moves the markets. This is Stephen E. Orr, BigBeat on Wall Street. Let's filter the future live.
All right. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Quasar Markets Live. It is Monday, December 15th, and believe it or not, it is the final full trading week of 2025. We've got green futures this morning, but I want to be clear, green futures does not mean calm markets. We're coming off a week where tech got hit and the AI trade got questioned, and the market started acting like it's repricing 2026 right now. Steve is here for the show today, and I'm going to start with the obvious. Are you treating this as a buy the dip setup or the beginning of something more structural like a real rotation that carries into quarter one?
That was a real rotation, and it already started 2 weeks ago. We already know that. And I'll tell you that I'm still long ABGO. For those of you who are paying attention, last week I bought, and I thought that dip of 13% was nonsense. And I think we go higher here, and I'm not too concerned about it, right? I think the problem that we're having here is chase the market kind of feel lately. The markets have been pretty lately. I feel like they've been right on target for a lot of people, but there's a lot of uncertainty out there in that rotation. And I've called for a Santa Claus rally. Now, for those of you who don't know, Santa Claus starts the day after Christmas, not now. And it goes till the first week of January. And sometimes it's a little bit different because of the day of the week that the markets are closed or whatever. But right now, I'm not scared of this market. I think what you're seeing is retail very nervous here. They don't know what they're really to do. So they're chasing what? They're chasing silver. Sorry, but I wouldn't be chasing silver right now. I mean, it's not the path of least resistance. It's not the upside anymore. So right now, Howard, I think you're right. No, this is one for me. I'm not too worried about it right now. I'm just going to stick to my guns, and I've been right pretty much. So I'm staying long my ABGO. I might short some Tesla. You know, Tesla being up and silver being up tells you retail is up, right? So good luck with that.
I did notice that somebody else is shorting Tesla, but not really shorting it. But that they are she sold it.
Who's Kathy Woods?
Yeah, you and Kathy Woods right on the same page, baby.
I mean, who would have thought, right? I mean, look, it is what it is. Yeah.
Okay, let's get into what we're going to talk about today. As we said, rotation out of AI and mega cap tech, a monster week of jobs and inflation data. We've got some big pre-market movers, iRobot, ServiceNow, Broadcom to talk about. Cannabis stocks are ripping on potential Schedule 3 news. Commodities are absolutely on fire, gold, silver, and copper. And what the consumer is telling us headed into the year end. So let's get this started here. Dow is up about 230 points, roughly half a percentage point. S&P is up about a half a percentage point. The Qs pushing up almost 3/4 a point. Now, I want everyone to keep that in mind. Last week, the Dow was the big winner, and the Dow is the one index that's the least dependent on AI, mega cap, and tech. So the question becomes, are we just bouncing after a messy Friday, or is the market making a statement that value and cyclicals are safer home headed into 2026? Steve, quick one for you. If you're a portfolio manager this week, what do you trust more, the Dow strength or the NASDAQ weakness?
Neither one. I mean, okay, so the Dow strength is happening because of what we did months ago. I moved into materials, right? So the Dow, look, the Dow is not really something I would really be following anymore. The Dow is kind of behind the times a little bit, whereas the NASDAQ and the Qs are a little bit with the times. But I also would say that when you look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average, it's industry, right? They're trying to say industry, and is industry in a good position right now? And there's a lot of uncertainty right now. I mean, right now, 4.176% of the 10-year, and you just had a cut. I mean, that's telling you that the economy is not that great. I was reading an article in the Wall Street Journal over the weekend that the president's out of touch again, because he was out of touch the last time he was. It's not hard when you're inside the bubble of the White House and inside of the what we call the bubble. It's not hard to get out of touch. It's really not, right? And looking at that, are some of these decisions are being good. I will say picking Kevin Hassett might not be a great pick. So the looking to the future, Kevin Warsh's name is being thrown in the mix here a little bit. And that's who I think, and I think Wall Street loves Kevin Warsh. So for me, I think that's a much better pick. And if that's the case, Kevin Warsh is more of a centrist, got more of a hands on pulse of the economy. And he might be willing to cut rates, but maybe understands inflation a little bit better than just being the yes man of Kevin Hassett. So throwing these guys in the mix with the K economy, with the wars, and of course I understand over the weekend Venezuela, some situation going on there, that this is really throwing us into chaos. And I don't like this. If this is quantum convergence for Steve Flanagan, then I got to ask him, because I'm not liking this quantum convergence too much. I want more clarity. I want more understanding of what we're doing here. And I don't think even the president knows what he's doing yet. I mean, I know over the weekend he was caught on tape saying that he thinks he's going to fail in the economy and it's going to hurt him in the midterms. No kidding, dude. We know that. So
that was actually, he was on a podcast.
Sorry, yeah.
He was on a podcast, and there's a few things I want to clarify there, because
let's get that right, because I wasn't quite
of opinion on these things, but I just want to point out a few things. Hassett's still the front runner when it comes to the prediction markets. As you said, at Wall Street, specifically Jamie Dimon came out and endorsed Warsh and said he's the man for the job. Hassett did come out very strongly, although, I mean, we take it for what it's worth, and said that he will not be a puppet of the president, and the president's decisions are, not there for that. And then what was the last part?
I mean, no, we got all kinds of issues, right?
What was the last thing you said though? I missed the last.
President in the economy, right?
Oh, he said that that all of his great work just isn't going to be realized. That it's going to be realized by us idiots quick enough.
Yeah, we're just not smart enough, right? I understand. Sorry, I'm higher.
Like I said, I wasn't
I have more education than he does. I mean,
I wasn't questioning any. I agree 1,000% with everything you said. I just wanted to give what the counter of it is out there already on a lot of those.
Okay, so I apologize, Mr. President, that I'm not smart enough to understand the economics of the United States. Yeah,
that's
understand
literally what I took out of it. It's just so that's sort of the case here. Hey, Steve, let's talk a little bit about the Mag 7 versus the impressive 493. I don't know who coined that one, but that's the one I'm seeing all day today and across all of our sort of news media here. The narrative in one sentence: AI winners didn't die, but the market is done giving the benefit of the doubt at any price, right? Oracle down double digits, Broadcom down almost 9%, tech sector down 2%. I know you and I are on the wrong side a little bit there, right? I did Oracle, you did Broadcom. So headlines didn't treat us too well over the weekends. I'm still in and ready to buy more.
I'm not wrong at all. We're dead right on that. Broadcom being down this much, and Broadcom's going to do the chipsets for Apple. Nah, it's silly. I think people they're trying to chase, right? The problem that right now you're seeing in the economy is that they think that this is where the money needs to come from, right? So this is like some kind of bank for them in a lot of ways. It's not an investment place. I was at a restaurant, you and I were in Vegas, and everybody was on their phones, and I couldn't figure out why the servers were on their phones. And they were all trading, right? I mean, it was like, well, you're trading, but are you investing? No, nobody invests here. We all trade. How long do you keep it? Oh, about an hour. An hour? Like you can't even I can't even order and eat within an hour. Like, how are you going to go trade and make that kind of money? And they're not.
You do it in a matter of 30 seconds. What are you talking about?
That's true, but what the difference is I already have an investment.
This is one where I just think it's a change, like you said. I don't think people like the way that I trade, which is to invest mostly and then trade a little, so to speak. That's fallen out of waiver. You got to go with what people are liking right now.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. But they need to have a savings account. They need to have a brokerage account that they invest in, right? Not every single dollar they have.
Yeah, like I tell people, you should have different accounts, different brokers. All that stuff. I keep some stuff in one account for my long term so that I don't look at it every day while I'm trading what is there, right? I did see your Denny had the line of the morning. The Magnificent Seven might be less magnificent in 2026. So I thought that was a funny line that they put together. I have two questions for you. Is this rotation simply year-end book cleaning? And is retail going to be too late if they try catching it up right now?
Yes, and yes, it's exactly right. The book cleaning starting to happen. We call it window dressing. I mentioned that on Schwab on Friday afternoon. That Santa Claus is coming to town, and they're in the middle of window dressing now. Now, for those of you who don't understand what window dressing is, very simple. Window dressing is where the bookmakers they start to move money around. They buy some stock, sell some stock, because they feel like this is what they need to have on their books, right? To look good at the end of the year. Oh, we own Apple, we own all these companies, but yet they booked profits last 2 weeks, right? They did that. They did that in November. They did it in October. They're doing it again now. So there is some serious window dressing going on here. I'm not scared about the window. I like window dressing because that just means that they're going to put it right back in. And I'm buying on the window dressing. That's what I like about this.
So that was one of the things I asked you earlier, right? Perfect. That's the answer. So Steve is going to buy some of these dips because they are just window dressing dips, in his opinion. I don't disagree at all. Steve, I've got a question for you. Going to put you on the spot here. If you had a pick, if I said to you, Steve, what am I going to look for to see if the AI trade is not cracking, because neither of us feel it is, what would you look for?
If the AI world is cracking, what stock would I pick?
No. What should we look for to see if it is? Is it CapEx spending? Is it the earnings quality? Is it yields? What would be the thing that you would worry Steve?
The pickaxe and the shovels. I would keep my eye on MongoDB because they are the software behind a lot of it. I would also look at cloud structure. So what does Google Cloud have to say? What does AWS have to say? Cloud industry would be very interesting to me because quite frankly, without that, we don't have it. And then I would also say that we need to look at those areas of which we are buying heavily into energy. states like Texas, states like Connecticut for 3 Mile Island, states like Florida, nuclear energy. But none of those sectors are telling us that there's a problem. They're all telling us that the boom is real. They're just, the software hasn't caught up yet. I mean, I was understanding that again. Over the weekend, I saw this article saying that OpenAI needs to raise more money or they're going to fall apart and they're going to go bankrupt. All right. Now, if I were to ask the people out in the public right now and tell them that Apple went bankrupt, how many people would raise their hand and say, I don't think that ever happened? Right? How many times, and I watched the article again, how many times did the Jeff Bezos get nervous about his stock falling from over $100 to $6, right? It happened not once, twice, 4 times, right? You know what he said? Interesting, back then, he said, the stock market is not my business. It's not my company.
It shouldn't, right? It shouldn't
right.
be.
Because when I looked at the stock price and I looked at my CapEx and I looked at the order flow coming in and I saw the order flow going out, I saw the money coming in, I saw the money going out, I realized I was doing quite well because the stock price is not reflective of my business, right? So what happens is by the time that the person, CEO of that business, they already know what's happening. We're betting, because I think that's what's happening right now, the gambling side of this. We are investing based on what we think that they're doing. Are they doing it right or wrong? And I think they're doing it right. And that's why Meta stock went under 100. Look at Meta stock today. He was betting on AI early. So no, I don't think. I think people are being silly if they're not betting on AI. And and another good example, that would be Apple. The Apple products we have today were nothing like they were when the company went under, when Bill Gates saved him not once but twice. Bill Gates saved Apple twice. Apple made a big mistake. They hired John Scully, right? You're not seeing that right now. You're not seeing OpenAI hiring another CEO. You're not seeing Amazon hiring another CEO. So no, I don't think so. I think people are wrong, and I think we go higher with AI. I don't think there's anything wrong with AI. Are we early in the game? Absolutely. I mean, if we looked at, I heard somebody talk about the other day that's inside of AI, a major company, and she was telling me, she's like, Steve, people don't realize how much money we're spending, but that's great. But what we're doing with it. And I said, that's all I care about. I don't care how much, I don't care if you're raising trillions. I care what you're doing with it. Are you investing for the future so that we don't get behind? And and you and I are talking about this, Howard, over when we were in Vegas, that China could be winning the game here on AI. And so we're playing a game where we are really trying to kick butt here and trying to,
right.
I wouldn't say catch up. We're right there with them tit for tat, but they are definitely ahead of us in what they're doing with their AI. Let's talk about it right now. How many people don't want to, and my wife and I talked about this weekend, don't want to do vacuum clean their house, don't want to clean the house, right? You hire people to do that, right? Guess what company went bankrupt over the weekend?
iRobot,
right? And this was a company that's going to change the world and no one's going to ever do any laundry or clean their house ever again. Well, the reason being is because Elon Musk is building machines, robots, to clean the house. And guess what? Oh, Kevin, I talked about it. I want one. I want a robot in my house cleaning my house. I don't want to do this. I got other things to do, right? Makes it a lot easier. So when people say, oh, is AI dead? That's like saying, is the internet dead? I don't know. We don't call it the internet anymore. We just say, hey, I'm going to go search something. I don't say, I'm going to go Google something. I'm just going to, hey, I'm going to find out what I need to find. I need to figure this out. And you have your 25,000 different search engines now, of which all got narrowed down into Google. So now when you have AI, it's going to be all these search engines and all these programs all getting narrowed down to a company or two, right? So that's what the difference is. It's not that is AI dead. That's just, anybody says that's just stupid talk. But how or where we do it will be massaged into an area of how we live our lives. And that's what I want to know more than anything. And we're not quite there to who's going to win yet. That's why they're all fighting hard.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned iRobot, so we got to bring it up now. Down about 70+% in the pre-market after filing for bankruptcy. This is a good reminder that not all consumer tech is a tech story. Sometimes it's just a margin story. Is there anything to do here other than stay away, Steve? Are you
Stay away.
buying the dip?
They defaulted on their loan, and they don't have it, and they lost a lot of their employees, and stay away from it. Because why? There's a million other robotic companies just like that now. They really kind of it's terrible, and I, it never worked for me in my house, so I don't know. Just I really wanted it to work. I tried one, and just didn't map my house.
We have a couple of their products. They're mediocre, like you said.
I have a dog. We have a dog, right? Is it going to clean my? I don't.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but Bailey sheds more than that thing can grab. Steve, some other pre-market movers. ServiceNow down about 4 to 5%, and why? Reportedly in talks to buy cybersecurity firm Armis for up to $7 billion. Also hit with an analyst downgrade. But here's the deeper angle the market is wrestling with: is the AI agents narrative. This idea that AI could compress the value of certain SaaS workflows. Steve, do you worry about ServiceNow and companies like that?
If some companies are building agentic AI, I tell them the same thing. You are going in the wrong direction, because agentic AI is already built into the AIs. I'm seeing this. To me, it feels like it's just some word flow here, some word salad in a lot of ways. Oh, we're building a workflow. We're building agentic AI. Well, it's already built into OpenAI. It's already built into Gemini. And the average person is going to figure out how to do agentic AI. So I don't know what these companies are thinking about. Companies that are now investing into OpenAI, investing into Gemini, and putting it in their system, that's a much smarter situation, right? If you're building your own AI, okay, you're wasting money, right? That's some of that money that we're talking about is being wasted. That's part of it, right? So for me, no, the agentic AI is being built. The workflow is built. And if you don't understand agentic AI or workflow, what it means is you're giving it commands to do all the time. So a lot of my AIs already have agentic AI in it. I would like news, put it in a certain way for me so that I understand it in a way that I understand it in snippets, headlines, and clickable and humanized. And I mean, I got a whole workflow and it does it every hour for me, right? So that I don't miss anything. That's agentic AI. That's workflow. And then to the workflow side of this is, okay, you built this for me. I'll check it. But then I went to post, or I wanted to tell me something or do something else for me, like send out an email to me, right? That's workflow. So when I look at agentic AI, I look at workflow. Is ServiceNow in that situation? No, right? Are these companies building for that? No, but they better be doing security, right? They better be doing cybersecurity, because we know what happens when things go down, because they go down, right? So, and we're not happy when things go down. So, yeah.
Okay. Big picture though, what is it? Do you think this purchase of the cybersecurity company is confidence, or is this defensive positioning? They realize they're already.
Yeah, okay. You're absolutely right. Defensive positioning. Look, and I'm shocked again. M&A, mergers and acquisitions. I've talked about this for a long time, and it's happening. I mean, it's like look. I mean, the world is telling you what to do. You just got to listen to it, and then you got to act on that, right? So, look for companies that have. I always call it the Warren Buffett flow, right? So think about it. For what cash flow? Does it help your company build a moat around your company, which is in ServiceNow's case, it does. How does these companies help you, right? OpenAI made a good position here with Disney, right? Allowing Disney characters to be in their OpenAI. They got an influx of money. That's a strategic move here. Partnership, yeah. So that's what I'm looking at. And you're talking about ServiceNow. Kramer's talking about it right now on CNBC, by the way.
He's always copying.
He's copying you, man. I'm telling you. I'll see him Friday. Yeah.
There you go. Hey, got to ask you, cannabis policy obviously is right on top of the news. Reports suggest President Trump could sign an executive order as soon as today to move marijuana from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3. Matter because it impacts banking access, tax treatment, institutional investment appetite. Steve, I want your best market mechanic breakdown. Is this one-day headline spike or a multi-week trend?
That's a very good question. The president has, and has spoken very highly and very emphatically about it, that he lost a brother, to alcohol. He is softening his tone on drugs. to me, it's a little bit weird that he is attacking Venezuela over drugs, and you can say fentanyl, you can say whatever, but I think in his mind, drugs are drugs are drugs, and alcohol and all the sin things are. I mean, he has his own sins. I mean, we know those, which is fine, but it is very interesting that he's talking about marijuana, and I need to see who is advising him on it. He's going in the right direction. Even my father, a Baptist minister, is highly against drugs, and yet thinks that cannabis is, if it can do good for people, let's do it, right? My parents had pharmacies, so yeah, I'm okay with this, and I'm with him on this. But the question is, does he actually?
I am also
right. But the question is, does he do it though? I don't know.
Right. And then my other question is, who does it benefit the most? The MSOs, the growers, the REITs, the ETFs? How would you play it?
Yes, I mean, in that case, all of it, right? I mean,
all of it,
because you are pretty much you're putting it on a path of legalization, and I think cannabis should be legalized. I think it should be sold. I mean, I don't tell you.
And I follow it because especially the Sands family, that is Canopy, used to be the Constellation folks, which was wine. And for me, the reason there is I do think they have more insight into difficult distribution lines. Alcohol up to this point is the most regulated thing in the U.S. All 52 states do it itself, and everything gets done from there. So we'll see. I think they are primed to Canopy to have a good move on this, Steve. Steve, you mentioned CNBC. Did you see their All-American Economic Survey?
I did not. I missed that one.
Okay. 41% plan to spend less on holiday shopping this year. High prices are cited as reason number one.
Well, they've already spent it.
What?
They've already spent it. I mean, look at that. I mean, look at Black Friday. They've already spent the money. So I that's okay.
And it says a big majority say income is not keeping up, as we've talked about, and pessimism is starting to elevate. If the consumer is still spending but trading down and leaning on discounts, what does it mean for earnings in Q1 that we should look for, Steve?
Guidance. I mean, I guess I think it's still guidance. We're about to hold on one second, Howard. We're about 2 minutes away from open, and we're seeing a little bit of a pop here in the market. I think some of the selling is done. We're seeing a move here in AVGO to the upside here really quickly here. So Bitcoin still hold at 89.4, but we are seeing some move. Yeah, I think a lot of the retail spending of shirts and sweaters and things like that are already pushed out. So they did that back during Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So I'm not. So what? I'm still hurting over this Rob Ryan and his wife being found shot dead this morning. Terrible, terrible news. Let's talk about that. I mean, over the weekend, more Jewish places. It's terrible, right? It's absolutely terrible. So is there an issue going on here bigger than we think? Is this what the president's talking about? Do we go to war someplace, right? He said ISIS was a problem over the weekend. Do we go to war with Syria? And he said the Syrian president's pissed off too. So look, there's a lot of issues going on right now that we don't know behind the scene what the president's thinking right now. And I'm more concerned about that probably than anything right now.
They're close with the new Syrian president, or have been at least. They've been pushing Israel to try to normalize relations.
Yeah, very. And then look, Bessard is. I mean, he was anti-America, and the new president is very pro-America. So it's getting interesting. Yeah. Will they allow our U.S. troops into Syria? That's another good question. I don't know. Yeah.
We are 1 minute from the open. President is on. Trump's talking now on CNBC that says his voice should be heard when it comes to the Fed. So,
and it should. He's right. It should be heard. It's like a child. It should be heard, but not. Should be seen, but not. I mean, what? Yeah. Look, we got a pretty good move.
Open here. Advanced decline is up 25.62. That's up from about 18.50 an hour ago. So we are seeing more breadth across the market, as we talked about, move to the upside. Sectors of the S&P were all green, and we are open, and they all do open up in the green here. Energy, the big laggard, only up 2 basis points. Right now, looks like Consumer discretionary up 95 basis points so far on the first move. Mag 7 or 8, the ones I watch, all to the upside so far. Nvidia, nice little jump up 1.35%. Whoa, Tesla 3.36, moving to the upside here. Nice jump on the cash open here. Steve, you getting ready to fade that bad boy? 470, 428.
No, I'm going to say long my ABGO. I think that's where I'm at. Fed's Mirren says current excess inflation is not reflective of underlying supply and demand in the economy. He's absolutely right. He's absolutely right. It's not.
Do you see the cannabis stocks getting hit here right on the open? Tilroy down about 3.5% now, moving to the downside. So some definite profit taking there after their big moves up. Service now down about 7.6%, has bounced from the lows of the day, did get down to 785. So nice little bounce back there from the bottom.
And it's just a little bit of clearing out of the algos. They're fighting over it. Service
now
Meta's
moved negative here so far. Meta has moved negative. Advanced decline comes in right about 31.34. Was as high as 36.20 on the open, moving back to the downside.
Service now is down 8%. Oh my goodness.
Dow Jones up about 50 basis points. Same with the SPY. NASDAQ leading the way up 66 basis points. And small caps, the RUT led by 50 basis points. VIX down at 1604. You know what I'm going to tell you next? Probably a pretty good time to look at those covered calls here, especially if it breaks below 16. Gold 43.22. So not all the way back up to an all-time high, but pushing on that door. Same thing with silver, 63 and change here. Moving back to the upside on the open. And the big winner, and I saw a bunch of articles over the weekend on copper, up another 1.58% here at 33.35 if you follow CPER. Bitcoin holding above 89, but by a thread so far. Ethereum 31.29 has been a little bit stronger than Bitcoin.
Yeah, I mean, it's just pretty quiet here. Yeah, still more selling in ABGO a little bit. That's what happened yesterday, and it went right back up. So they're trying tests, whatever.
Do you see after the news of SpaceX maybe going public here or plans to go public this year, Rocket Lab, Fly, all those names are moving a little bit. Echo Star this morning. Rocket Lab's up about 4.29%. Tesla now up 4% here on the day, 477.
And it tells you right there, silver and Tesla. It's a retail world, right? Let them play in that world. I don't have a problem with that. They're not investing, so let them play. I mean, look, you're right. I might be shorting Tesla on this. This is a silly move.
Micron up about 3.4%, almost 3.5% here. They will be the big earnings play this week on Wednesday. MU up about 3.31% here.
Berkshire Hathaway back over 500.
Negative here, seeing a little bit of selling.
Yeah, Q's just getting absolutely slaughtered, and the pop should push right back up.
Oracle getting hit a little bit again here today, down another 2.31%.
Caterpillar now down another 1% here.
So gold, a little profit taken across gold also.
Dollar falling.
You see our first sector of the S&P, XLC, which is communication sector, has gone slightly negative here. Utilities, energy also has gone negative here. DXY getting really down towards those levels Mr. Flanagan warned about. 98.23. We'll have him in a few minutes. Can let us know if he's out of those trades. Did it hit his stop loss? Bitcoin struggling to hold to 89 here.
Yeah, there's nothing in this market here that I'm actually just going, ooh, look at that.
Metal companies are moving to the upside. Tesla did pull back from that move to the upside we talked about.
Last week was all about Warner Brothers. It ain't about Warner Brothers anymore, right? I mean, it's it's a very fickle market right now.
Whoa, Zillow down 9%, Steve. Here, Zillow down at 9.12%. That's based upon news that Google's testing a new real estate ad format.
Yep.
Zillow's got a couple of pressures. They've got that problem with Compass. They're gonna have to deal with.
They better be careful because Google.
Yeah, I mean, Compass is trying to make them irrelevant, basically.
Right.
Trying to bring listings more private, so to speak.
We're seeing the queue starting to pop a little bit here, so I like this buying down here. It could be a great buying opportunity down here.
Mag is now a mixed bunch. Microsoft, Apple, and Amazon negative on the day. Nvidia still up about 1.4%, holding up pretty well.
Tesla's at 19 bucks.
There goes your
right?
Tesla back to the upside, Steve. If you were thinking about shorting, here you go. It's getting hot.
Let's look at Fly. Fly's up 6% again.
I know. Shh.
Ethereum up 2.5% here. Bitcoin 89.
I might have to close Fly out here. That's
and CRISPR's up another 2% here. So yeah. There you go. Man, Zora's crushing it, huh?
Nice. Love it there, Zora. That's the way to go. We'll mention, we'll talk more with Mr. Flanagan about it. A lot of economic data out of China over the weekend, not so positive. And we see Alibaba down about 2% here. Baidu down 3%. JD down about a 0.5 percentage point. So again, I often say I don't trust those pumps when they come. But I do like buying these dips afterwards. The Chinese names always bounce back the same way, especially Alibaba. Don't know if I like it today.
TechCrunch is now saying Nvidia is reportedly ramping up their X200 production to meet surging demand in China. So, I mean, China's demands are different than what we think. We think of demand as food and energy. And they think of like technology, right? They're really into the technology stuff. So, yeah. Not like in this Broadcom selling though. It's still a little bit too much to me. It's way out of bounds. And I think that's all zero DTE, to be honest with you. They the 1 hour chart on Broadcom to me is giving you a freaking serious. Let me just do that for everybody.
Absolutely.
I'll pull that chart up for you.
Absolutely.
There you go. So you can see here, I'm going to pull up the 1 hour chart. Boom. You can see the selling here. This is nonsense. See, the volume is not nearly as crazy as it was. So that's telling me zero DTEs are involved, which is great because then I'll take advantage of them, which I have been. And they've caught up to this. They're not there, but they are in here, right? So you can see where this baseline is. But this buy signal happened a few hours ago. So right now they're in the wrong. They're just there's no institutional dumping here. Let's put it that way, okay? This is internally, and I don't see anything in here that I don't like. I do like this. This is a great buy opportunity here for me. I bought more just a few minutes ago. So this signal here is really good here. Now, I'm going to pull up a 3-minute chart. That's what we're looking at, right? Why? We all know the threes, Wall Street. Don't need to tell anybody this. There was that buying that you saw down there, right? They tested it again. this selling was not on heavy volume. See, look at the volume. It's not crazy volume. So the volume to the downside was just not there. There just wasn't any. The buyers are waiting to step in, but when they do, I think we'll be back to, I think probably around 400, somewhere around there.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. You can see it right in here somewhere, and this is what I'm talking about. This is where I think we'll start to see it. But yeah, the accumulation is starting now. I'm going long term with this one because I really think this is a big winner for a lot of us. Then they have back orders. I mean, this crazy number of back orders that they have. It's just nuts. So people are being wrong on this one. Yeah, and weak AI product backlogs and margin concerns. No.
Tick has gone slightly negative, and we do see a pullback across most of the major indices here. Dow trading up 41 basis points, SPY up 33 basis points, NASDAQ up 37, and the RUT up 32 here. VIX has started to tick up just slightly here, back to 1628.
So Netflix is borrowing $59 billion to finance its acquisition. I mean, yeah. So we might be seeing that. Look, if Netflix does not get the deal, which with the president telling you that they're not, this stock's back to over 100 easily, right?
Yeah, it should. I mean, you would think so to speak. Yep, I do not argue with that. Steve, Tesla holding up here at 479.20. Broke up to 481 here.
Look, it's obvious that what's happening here. Elon is pumping the robotaxi tests. You know, I was in you and I were in Vegas, and I didn't see a lot of people taking the cabs that were, you know, driverless, the Zooks. It will be a thing of the future. I get that, but they're not doing it yet, so I'm not too concerned.
Yeah, not necessarily. People aren't necessarily lining up to get it yet.
Correct.
You know, I'm with you there.
Yeah. Although shorting Tesla right here might not be a bad thing. Look at that. The volume is completely dried up to the upside. Yeah, there it is. The 1 minute. There's your 1 minute sell signal. If you're looking for a quick scalp, probably could hit it for a bit here. Yeah, there's the drop. Could hit even more here. Yeah, even more here. Hey, buddy. Yeah, there's a drop. See, I had a feeling it was going to.
There it is. You nailed that one.
I had a feeling. Yeah, even more. Yeah. ABGO. That selling at ABGO is just silly. It could turn here in the 1 minute chart, though. They just tested again. That's all they did was tests. And I'm not. It was the amount that was sold, that was bought back. It again, so double tests. This is a long term. I'm going to hold this one for a while. I like this move here. JP Morgan up $3 here. There it is. I think I'm about to add to this ABGO position here. Bitcoin just cannot hold up there on that 90,000. What's going on up there at 90,000?
Just struggling right now, Steve. Seen a lot more calls for downside risk than that. I will say again, the exchange values lead the right direction, but most of this trading is done by the perps. So again, when we see them the longs got long over the weekend too far, makes it easy to cut it down.
Peter Schiff now says we will go broke overnight if we own Bitcoin.
Listen, hey, you can't, we know I don't agree with them, but
I don't think too many people agree with him. What does he sell again? Oh yeah, gold. Have you not seen how many gold commercials over the weekend? Oh my goodness gracious. It was gold coin this and gold and buy gold. I was like, man, you guys are just telling us that you want to sell your gold. You're scared to hold your gold anymore.
Tesla pulled right back down that 475 area there, Steve. So it did pull back, ticks negative about 237 here. So we are seeing some sell-off as we get through the cash open here, about 15 minutes into our trading time. ASTS getting hit a little bit here, down about 3.62% this morning. AVGO down another 2.26, approaching the 351 handle. Bank of America, Boeing holding up nicely, up another 50 basis points here, Steve, at 205.40. Alibaba down about 2.88. As I said, those names getting hit. Crypto names getting hit pretty hard here. Coinbase down another 3% to 259 here. So struggling same way as Bitcoin to catch any type of real bid here. Seeing all-time highs by Dollar Tree here, Steve, 132.42. Dollar Tree moved to the upside. Did see Dollar General in the pre-market had been up significantly. And same thing here, set a new 52-week high also. Airlines catching a bit also, Steve. Delta up another 2% here.
I don't know why. I was just on the friggin' airlines, and I'll tell you, I've got to go back on one. I mean, as you know, I fly a lot, and airlines seem to be busy. Man, Bitcoin really just cannot stop here. I'm hearing stories about the original buyers of Bitcoin
ticked down about 400, so we are seeing some more selling coming across here. Seeing some selling across gold and silver too, so we are seeing selling pretty much across everything here. Most of the Mag 7s now gone to the red side. So when we opened, all of them were in the green. Now just NVIDIA, Meta, and Tesla in the green. The rest are in the red. Apple now down 1.35, Steve. That's a pretty big dump there, I didn't see.
Yeah.
Don't see any real news there that matters. Wow. We'll say towards that 270 area, it starts to get interesting for Apple for me here, right around that 50-day SMA. Tick still going down so far. Q's up only 27 basis points. Did bounce off the lows of the day, which were 614.76. So watch out there. Did holding right at the 50-day MA so far. We do see pullbacks here across most of them. The RUT about to go negative on the day, only up 8 basis points here after a nice little gap up earlier. S&P, same thing, out lows of the morning here, 683.23. So we're definitely seeing a little bit of a rotation out here, Steve.
Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily look like it's going. It looks like it's going to cash.
I think people are just confused right now.
Wow, DXY at 98.19. I do see Mr. Flanagan coming in here. We'll let him get set up, but we got to get into that. Is there a make it break it line there for him? So I do see Mr. Flanagan here. Let's get him in and see what's going on. How was your weekend, Mr. Flanagan?
Weekend was great. A lot of reading, catching up, trying to figure out what is going on. And as I think I alluded to Friday, 43 years trading at the head institution in the world. I was confused. I have been confused. I have really been trying to get my hands around this. I've taken profits or some losses across my portfolio. Likewise, teetering on the edge with my dollar position here. But what I would like to explain is the timing of this market rebalance or year-end rebalancing of positions is really the core of what's going on. And in a computer-driven market, these computers are given commands, rebalance, and they just go after it.
Right.
Liquidity is always a concern at this time of year, as we've been talking through December. Most institutional traders begin to step back. Their risk taking is, while they will risk take, it is definitely, you do not want to lose money in December because you upset the bonus pool. That's just saying it like it is, guys. But that's really what's going on here. And, I get a little impatient here. Steve, you mentioned quantum convergence. Yeah, I mean, it's the fusion of a lot of these technologies, computing.
Well, the president of the weekend, and Howard has mentioned it again, said we're not smart enough to understand all what he's doing because we don't understand economics. And give me a break.
Yeah, he is. I guess if he has a downside, it's the flappable lips. But the promise is huge. Quantum tech.
I agree. I'm excited about the future. I mean, people ask me all the time. I mean, I said this was the Profit Trading Academy. I said, look, I'm excited about the future. It's very exciting what's happening and what we're building and what we're doing. And what's interesting is I don't think a lot of people really understand it. I think they're just looking at it as, write me a song or a poem. I'm sorry, but it's songwriters. I mean, I was hearing over the weekend, people that were complaining about, over the last 2 years, but now they're all using it and going, yeah, we're all now in writing songs by
That's right.
AI. So it doesn't matter who you are, you're going to be using the technology. So that's exciting part, right? It's just whether or not we accept it. But the problem is the acceptance rate and the speed of building it. Are we building it at the speed that we need to build it at? Are we able to keep up with that speed? Is enough energy happening? And it just seems that people are confused about AI in general.
Yeah, and I get the frustration because it feels stagnant, it feels slow. There's a lot of creating inequalities, in the K shape that you guys always refer to. It takes, what? I mean, my idea is, anywhere from 3 to 8 years out there on that horizon. And I get the frustration.
Right. Wait. Are you setting a time limit now on this quantum convergence? Just so I understand.
Things take time. The internet took time. Telephones took time. The magnitude of what quantum convergence is something we've never seen in our lifetime. It's not going to be Monday morning, flick a switch, it's on. I believe next year you begin to see a tremendous amount of benefits beginning to start. I think 2027, the cover's off the ball. I wouldn't be surprised if a NASDAQ has doubled its value by 2027, somewhere in that time frame. So yeah, Steve, my time frame for the entire convergence to take place is out there at 2 to, let's call it 7, 8 years. But it's beginning. You ask, are we doing it fast enough? Well, I mean, look at, the big stock that's getting whacked after decent earnings, Oracle. How much money have they gone into debt now to actually increase the speed of this turnout? You have to invest. And unfortunately, in this debt-driven world right now, debt is a horrendous anchor around your neck to have.
The companies that didn't do well during the dot-com were the ones who didn't invest. I mean, Amazon was a good example of that. They kept asking Amazon, why are you spending $100 million, a month? And he's like, I'm doing it a day. Today that $100 million isn't even a minute, right? So, it's all about. It's not about just expend. I think a lot of people don't understand. It's not about spending the money.
Right.
And people asked me this the other day, and I was at the prospect. I was asked this question specifically. Howard was sitting right next to me, and someone asked the question, "What do you look at the most when you're looking at an event?" Right? And I said, "Okay, it's very simple to me. It's the R&D budget, right, of a company. Are they spending money, and are they doing it in the right way? Are they spending money to create something cool that people want?" Or are they just spending money because they're spinning their wheels? And I don't like spinning wheels. I mean, everybody here knows I'm Speed Steve here is all about building something new, cool, what people like, right? So that R&D budget, and I look at these companies spending on R&D budget. I look at it from the perspective of Facebook. They built something cool that people like, Instagram and WhatsApp, and people use it, right? When I look at the perspective of Amazon, man, look at the number of products that are being sold on Amazon. I don't even like going to the stores anymore to buy anything, right? And I look at how much money that they have actually spent. It's outrageous amounts of money, and yet they're building something cool that people want, and they're going to spend even more money because they know in the future things will be higher, the inflation's higher, costs are higher. I mean, it makes sense to me. But I also have to go, okay, are some companies just spending money to try to keep up? And I'm wondering if that's the case with OpenAI. I'm wondering if that's the case with some of these energy companies that aren't getting it done. They aren't drilling. How many drills have we seen? The last number was 186. That's not enough drills in the middle of the winter. That's a low number because we all know the ground's frozen and it's easy to drill in the frozen ground. So there's some interesting situations here, Steve, that's not happening to me that needs to happen.
Very concerning, Steve.
Yeah.
You mentioned these companies, and that's why probably the first half of 26, it's the big companies, the Amazons, the Googles, the Microsofts, NVIDIAs. They're the ones that will reap a lot of the benefits because they're doing all this investment out of cash flow. If you look at probably the future.
That's
quantum computing. Look at Rigetti, huge R&D, not making money really, maybe just beginning. D-Wave, another quantum, huge R&D. They got bad problems if this doesn't start to materialize because of all the R&D that they're spending. However, I would say those are two fantastic companies if you can weather these storms. And the storms come over what? Credit. It's all a matter of credit. Right. That's what we're looking at.
And lowering the rates is a good thing. People think it's all about inflation. The Fed thinks it's all about, but you know what? Lowering rates helps us in technology because they can go borrow cheaper. So when they borrow cheaper, then they can make cooler products. It costs them less down the road, and they'll sell the product higher, and they make more money.
Now
what is it the Fed can't freaking figure it out?
Right. That is exactly the point of the administration's constant pounding of the Fed. They're initiating a game plan here, which is going to be out in the future. Fed, hello, be part of us here. We've got the best position in the world to be in, and you're like inflation. They're looking at, a figure, and I think you saw Williams even come out today and Moran, there is no inflation.
And they said if we don't do this, we're going to see accelerated job losses. And we know that if these companies are spending money, big money, they're not just spending money on hardware, they're spending it on people.
That's
right? So this is a win-win for everybody. This Fed's lost. But
big disconnect here. Yes, and the Fed is lost. And I think what you're going to see, you've got big central bank meetings. You got Bank of England, ECB, and Bank of Japan. Expect the Bank of England to cut a quarter. I would love to see them go at a half. They certainly need to be now that their GDP.
If they go at half, it scares people, though, right?
That's right. ECB 2%. There is no growth in Europe, although the numbers have been showing some progress, but they're coming from an anemic level. And then Japan will probably give us a 0.25% rise. But still, inflation throughout the world. Look at China. Their numbers overnight, they were not good. They're still, industrial production plus 4.8%. But China, they need 6%, 5.5%, 6% to keep the wheels rolling. Their retail sales were up 1.3, but both of these numbers are coming down from previous numbers, keeping this lower growth in China intact. So big week, lots of numbers coming out. I think next Monday we will be in a totally different place with the new data that comes in. And I think everybody's going to go, okay, Fed, where have you been? Why is everybody else out there talking about it? How come you couldn't see this coming?
I don't disagree with you. I mean,
I think all of us are in agreement on
yeah,
that.
I mean, I totally agree with this.
Well, what does that mean for our markets here? You know, watch this. This was a vicious downturn if you were tech-centric, but really, if you pull the covers back, what this is a simple year-end rebalancing out of tech, which now has debt concerns,
Yeah,
and into the blue chip, let's call it. And that's a good thing because now it's no longer Mag 7. Now you're suddenly seeing
we're hearing reports now that U.S. negotiators are insisting during the talks in Berlin that Ukraine should agree to withdraw troops from the Donetsk region. That's interesting. That means that they're asking for conciliation with Ukrainians to pull out of that area to give Russia an area here.
There's winners and losers in war, and as much as we've scolded Russia, somehow they're still reaping the benefits of world trade, and the embargoes, etc., just haven't worked. I'll throw a curveball at that one again. China, 1 trillion trade surplus. I thought everybody was boxing China out, but they've managed to very quickly. And this is my point as we move into this new quantum convergence. Look how fast China changed the trade from the United States to the rest of the world. It was months.
Even Bailey agrees with you
today.
Hey, Bailey.
Good name.
You're live on the air. He's not happy. I gotta go travel again, so he's not happy.
Where are we heading now, Steve?
We're off to Miami for a shoot. I can't talk about that because I've won another award, and we'll see that pretty soon. And then I'm off to New York, and I had to go pack my big winter coat, Steve. So it's there, yeah.
My family keeps sending me pictures of the snow. But anyway, we got big numbers, Bank of England on Thursday, ECB Thursday, Bank of Japan Friday by the time we walk in. It's frustrating to be a trader right now because we want changes to be in place. The administration's moving along with their changes. They're being challenged in courts. The Fed we got ball and chains behind us.
But you got to work within the system. You can't just make up your own rules and say this is what the rule's going to be. I mean, we still have laws in place.
I totally agree. And what the point you made earlier today is China winning at the game. If you want to be in a high-tech, rapidly changing space, it's difficult to operate in a system like we have. Forget Europe. Let's look at Europe as the ultimate example. They are so far behind, and they're probably risking their system, splintering at the seams. The next time there's a Greek or a Spanish, problem, Portugal, it could be the undoing of the European system because they cannot move too much bureaucracy. I do agree we have rules in place. You have to work within the system. Maybe what it means is everybody.
If you don't like the rules, then change them. You've got a Congress that's a completely Republican. Okay.
Yep. And maybe everybody needs to sit down at a table and have
Instead, we're bogged down with Epstein. Instead, we're bogged down with nonsense. Bogged down with seriously silly DOJ nonsense, ICE nonsense. There's laws that need to be changed and fixed to create for the future. Instead, we're being bogged down in government by nonsense. Exactly. And that's what's happening right now. Yeah, and I agree with that. You and I agree on this.
Who loses? It's the people, as you have described, the cake economy. It's the people down here going, well, when's this change going to happen? And, somebody better figure it out and figure it out quick. Otherwise, the train gets derailed a little bit here. And I think that this is every time you get these sort of moves in the market, they're wake-up opportunities.
AMC Theaters now hitting a record low down here at $2.04 a share. Movie theaters in trouble here. Are we done with movie theaters?
I was at a movie over the weekend with my grandson, and I had the pick of the house for my seats. So,
yeah, I mean, I'd rather be at home. I went the other day, and it was like $20,000 to buy a Coke. I was like, come on, guys, no one's going to do that anymore, right?
Yeah,
stay at home with your big screen TV.
Exactly, and pay 25. Why, Steve, another great area of this technology. How come when a movie's not released, you can't go to your screen and pay $25 to see a brand new movie and do it in the comfort of your own room?
Well, that's exactly what Paramount was saying. It's exactly what Warner Brothers was saying. It's exactly what Disney is saying. We'll just go quicker to the home, but charge you more. And I'm okay with that. Charge me the 25. But some people are saying, well, I'll just wait till the price goes down. Well, then, okay. But distribution, I think the streaming costs are too cheap. I think the cost of buying the movie, because look, it costs. But if you ask me, the problem is hiring actors at $50 million a picture.
Yeah.
Sorry, they don't deserve $50 million for a picture. Yeah.
Yep. Well, that's another subject, Steve. But anyway, this is going to be a big week. You guys are doing great. I love watching the show, even when I'm not on. Cutting edge information. So,
and I'm on my way to Miami, boys. So I will see you guys later.
Okay, from Quasar Markets, everybody. I have to ask though before we leave, Mr. Flanagan, DXY way down towards those levels you were worried about. Is there a number where it worries you more? 98.15 where we're at right now?
We're right on the cusp. In fact, I'll probably cut my position. 98.13 was the December 11th low. If we get through here, I have to be disciplined as a trader and get out of my long dollar position and take a new look. The point that I have, I've drawn a line. I'll refine it today to 97.20, 97.20. If we do break that, I'm very, very concerned. I need to see this week a close above 98.34. If I do not get above that level, I'm really starting to question the dollar. Does it have a negative effect to the economy? Probably not. It only makes U.S. goods at a time when we're beginning to export more and our trade balance is the lowest in 5 years. I know there were some overriding reasons why, but a cheaper dollar does help our export segment. I just get concerned from my point of view about the dollar's resurgence from these levels. I'd have to question my strategy.
Absolutely. I just wanted to get that. I figured you had those numbers ready for us. I'm with you. It's under pressure today. Bitcoin under pressure. Also watch for a drop here, maybe even as low as 86.9 or so today. Everybody from Quasar Markets, we'll see you tomorrow morning. Have a great trading day.